Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday night, and I'm Brandy Collinborn of Brushed by Brandy. I'm a Dixie Belle Paint brand ambassador, and tonight I'm here. We're going to finish up this piece because I really am dying to get it finished. So if you guys have been following for the last few weeks, we've worked on this piece start to finish. We took it from my stockpile, cleaned it, prepped it, got some paint on it. All those videos are available on the Dixie Belle page, and they will be available on my YouTube channel when we're all done tonight. So we're going to finish it up tonight with some finishing touches. I'm going to apply a transfer to our front. We're going to paper the drawer sides, and then we're going to freshen up the wood that's inside of this secretary desk. So I got a bunch of little tips and tricks to show you tonight. You guys come on please and let me know where you're watching from. Let me know you can hear me okay and everything looks clear. And my husband Sean is here to go ahead and answer some questions if you guys have any questions along the way. But otherwise we'll go ahead and dive in. And I apologize, you guys. I'm going to be, a little quick tonight. I haven't been feeling good. I think I got food poisoning yesterday. And then we also lost our pet yesterday. Our dog passed away. So I'm a little out of sorts today. So thank you for bearing with me. So the first thing I'm going to do to this little desk is I've already done a couple, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. We've already got 2 coats of paint on here, and I have papered some of these drawer sides. Let me pull these out and I'll turn the desk so you can see what we're doing. So this is what it's going to look like when we're done. And I pulled some of our inspiration for colors out of this paper here. So it goes really nice with the coloring that we have on this desk. The colors that I used on here are Dixie Belle Driftwood, Hurricane Gray, Stormy Seas, and Midnight Sky are the 4 colors that we've been working with on our paint scheme. So I pulled some of the inspiration from this paper here, and I think it looks beautiful. So I'm going to show you guys how I added this paper to the drawer sides. So the paper that I chose, I use all different kinds of paper for this, but the paper that I'm using today is a drawer liner that I picked up at Home Goods. They always have cute papers by the checkout and stuff. It looked like this. It's called a drawer liner, but it's about the weight of a wrapping paper. I use wrapping papers all the time. One good one that I really like is spoonflower.com. It's a nice weight paper. The inks don't bleed when you apply moisture to it, so Spoonflower has beautiful custom papers, but this one was just an inexpensive, paper drawer liner. And these are some of my cut up scraps. So I'm going to go ahead and use these. So what I will do is I will roughly size this to the side of my drawer. Okay, so this piece has already been cut because it's a scrap from my old drawer sides. Okay, my first favorite for doing this is Dixie Belle Gator Hide. Can I tell you guys, I'm a Dixie Belle brand ambassador, and I have not one drop of Gator Hide at my house right now. I use it so often I have ran out of Gator Hide. So I have an order arriving any day.
Sounds like someone's at the door.
Yeah, no, it's here now. Let me go get it. Just kidding. So we're going to be using Dixie Belle Flat Clear Coat. And I like the Flat Clear Coat as well. I just primarily use Gator Hide for this. So I'm going to open up my Dixie Belle Flat Clear Coat. And the Flat Clear Coat is going to serve as our adhesive underneath the paper. And then we're also going to use it as a protectant over the top of the paper. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and brush on my Flat Clear Coat. Just make sure I have nice, even coverage. And I'm going to let this just kind of set up for a minute, get a little bit sticky and tacky. And while it does that, I'm going to come here and I'm going to back butter my paper as well. This is a nice thick paper, so I'm just going to put a good coat of the clear coat on my paper as well, so I get contact through all of it. If you are working with a thinner paper, I do not back butter my paper. So you really kind of need to judge that based on the type of paper that you're using. Tissue papers, I do not do that. So, excuse me for 1 second. I need to grab my brayer.
Oh, I don't mean to be in your way.
Yeah, sorry. As always, you're in my way. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I forgot to bring my brayer over here. Like I said, out of sorts tonight. So this is kind of set up for a minute. You don't have to wait too long. It really will start setting up fairly quickly. My paper has a light coat of clear coat on it.
Aaron's asking if I can fill a void with elevator music.
Yeah.
That's Jeopardy.
Yeah, you guys think Sean is multi-talented, huh? Okay, so now I've laid the paper just with my hand. Once the paper gets wet, number one, it gets fragile. So you don't want to pull at your papers too much, reposition it too much. The paper really starts getting fragile. So then I'm going to take, this is called a brayer, and it's like a little rolling pin tool. And I'm going to roll this out.
So really quick, does Gator Hide tint the paper at all, yellow it, or anything?
No. So one thing that can happen is if you have not sealed your drawer sides, your wood can bleed actually. So if you've got wood that may bleed and you're using a lighter color paper, you may want to seal it with Dixie Belle Boss before you paper it. So that is a possibility. But no, I've not experienced that with Gator Hide. I'm feeling like I need a little bit more contact on the edges of my paper, so I'm just going to go in and add some clear coat to those. Okay, now I'm going to roll this back out. This rolling pin tool is good because if you're using your hands for this, your hands can create friction with the paper and you can start pulling it and tearing your paper. Paper also will stretch when it's wet. So you want to make sure that you're pulling your paper. I'm rolling out any bubbles that I see out to the edges of my drawer. I'm pushing all those bubbles out to the edges. I have two different kinds of brayers. That was a hard plastic one. This one's rubber. And I find that they both do different things better. I think I've got a bubble right here. And I'm not sure if it's just not getting good contact. That's good. Got good contact on there.
I wonder if I could use a brayer. I got some bubbles.
Yeah, let's roll them out. It's like a big rolling pin.
Where can you purchase the rollers?
They're just a craft store item. So these are brayers. I get, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. They would all have a brayer in stock. I'm sure you can find them online.
I'm gonna try this comment thing.
I would get I recommend getting a good one. You don't want a cheap, little 99-cent brayer. Because this is something I use quite a bit. Okay. So I feel like I don't have any bubbles in here that I can see, and I'll use my hands. If you have any slight ones, your paper also will, it stretches when it's wet, so it will contract when it's dry, and shrink back to size. So if your bubbles don't go back in place when they're dry, you can also, you can come back and put an iron over the top of this before you put your clear coat on and iron them out. I rarely have to do that, but that's just a problem solver if you end up needing it.
Have you ever used an iron?
So I know there's the iron method. I don't prefer it. It's a pain in the butt to me. So yes, I have. It's just not one that I prefer.
I guess that actually goes in line with you don't really iron anything.
Yeah. Okay, now. Now you're getting...
Oh, story time?
Iron? What's this iron you speak of? Have you seen how I dress? I don't need an iron. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking a sanding sponge and I'm going along the edges of my paper. And this isn't an alternative to cutting off this excess piece here. So this piece is too large for my drawer. I can go along the edge of my drawer and run my sanding sponge along. And it scores it right at the edge of my drawer. And then watch, you guys. It's going to give me an exact... Oh, I need to get this corner a little better. It's going to give me an exact cut and a clean edge along the edge of my drawer. So I can go all the way along this entire edge. If your paper is really fragile, I wouldn't do this until your clear coat is dry. Because you can start pulling your paper. But this works the same if it's dry. I have a nice thick paper here, so it's not super fragile, but tissue papers, if you go sand the edge of it like that and it's wet, it's just going to pull. Okay, and so doing that to the top edge as well. Let's get this little piece off here.
You know they say dress for the
job you want, not the job you have.
Yeah.
Well, the job I want is the job
That's
I
pretty
have.
solid.
So how does
yeah.
that work?
Had they taught you this in school, we'd be set.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I could go back to having a regular job after doing this. I just don't.
Me neither. I don't think I could.
This is the little excess from the top. And I've got a nice, clean, smooth paper. So I'm going to let this set up for a few minutes. And then we're going to come back and lay a clear coat over the top. And you guys are going to be able to see that the Dixie Belle clear coats, when you use them as your adhesive and then again over top, they do not reactivate and create bubbles like it would if you were using Mod Podge. I hate Mod Podge. I really don't know what it's for. I rarely use it. Their fabric medium I use sometimes. Other than that, it's just not a product I found a real good use for. Okay, so while that's drying, let's come up here. And we pulled some more inspiration for this desk from this beautiful transfer here. So this is a decor transfer by Redesign with Prima. They come in these tubes here. This one's called Somewhere in France. This is from one of their latest releases, and it's a gold metallic foil. And I just thought this would be beautiful against the blues and the grays to have that contrast of the gold.
France. Sorry, what's today? Carry on.
Oh, yeah, it's D-Day. Yeah,
Yeah?
Yeah, you're right. Happy D-Day, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead. This comes in 3 sections, and I'm going to use one of them on the top, and then I'm going to take apart. So you can take these apart. I can either use them with the spacing that they've given you, or you can cut these apart into, so for example, if I take this one, I can cut this row out, I can cut this row out, this one, this one, this one, and give myself essentially like 5 rows. So I'm going to take these 5 rows, and I want to space them out wider than this spacing here. So I'm going to space them out down the front of this. We're going to do one at the top tonight, but I just want to explain to you, you can cut these apart and use them with any spacing that you desire. I could cut out and just use, this one word if I wanted to. So, and then I'm still going to have a piece of this transfer left. So from one transfer, I'm going to get, I usually get 2 or 3 pieces out of one transfer. So like I said, I'm going to cut this apart, and this will go across these 3 drawers. If I just had 2 drawers, this would be great spacing, but I want to space it across these 3 drawers, and I need these words a little bit further apart. But for tonight, let's go ahead and do this one at the top here. So when you get your transfer, it comes, and these transfers are available on the Dixie Belle Paint website. And
Sandy's asking, do you know what it says?
It says,
yes, something in French.
Je blah, blah, blah.
It's my
cafe.
My graduating year.
I know that part. Let's see.
Oh man.
Pastries, sandwiches. I know what pastries and sandwiches are.
Croissant.
Croissants, muffins, cakes. I know what quiche, biscuits. See, I know what this one says, please. Anything other than the food part? No, I have no clue. Some of them I have translations for, but this one I don't. So I'm going to space this out roughly to the center of my drawer. I like the spacing of it. I like the size of the words. So it comes with this white paper backing on it. Once you know you want to stick your transfer, my transfer's too warm. It is really warm and humid here today. You can place these in the refrigerator and they will release from the backing a little bit easier. So I'm going to place this onto my drawer. I'm going to roughly eyeball the center, kind of using that keyhole I've got at the top, looking at my sides. Make sure I've got it kind of straight. You can measure this all out, but I'm more of an eyeballer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird.
Shocking. My husband's a measure it twice kind of guy.
Sometimes 5 times.
I'm a measure it 0 times kind of girl. Okay. And then in your package with your transfer, you get this here transfer tool. And I'm just going to go through and rub these letters. And I can see right away that they start turning white. And those are the air bubbles coming in between. The air bubbles come in between the transfer, so you can see here the ones that haven't transferred versus where it starts turning white. And that's how I know that it's transferred onto my furniture piece. So I will just keep rubbing this, pushing those air bubbles through my transfer. You can hear a little popping sounds. I'm going to be quiet for a minute. Shut up, Brandy. And those little popping sounds are the transfer detaching from this plastic backing.
I've been trying to do that for years. It doesn't work.
No, only for the popping sound.
Not the backing coming off. Just...
You guys hear the little popping sound?
I can't because you're talking.
Yeah, sorry. I know, I ruin everything. Do you want me to leave you guys alone? Am I bothering you?
Some alone time. Me and 267 of my closest friends.
Wow. don't even think you have that many Facebook friends.
What are you trying to say?
We need to work on Sean's exposure, you guys. He needs some shares on his personal page.
No, I'm good.
So, this makes me think of another topic. So, you guys, I get friend requests on my personal Facebook page all the time. I probably have like 500 plus.
When are you going to accept mine?
I'm going to pretend I haven't seen it.
What's the name of that tool? Just real quick.
This is a transfer tool. It comes in the package with the transfer. So when you get this, when you order one of these in this tube, this will be inside of it. So you get everything you need to apply it in the package with it. But it's basically like a little wooden stick, a burnishing tool. And I just use it to apply pressure. You can put your thumb on the edge of it and kind of...
So sorry, back to your story, whatever you were...
Oh, so I have like 500 pending friend requests on my personal page. If you've ever sent me one, this is why. I don't even see them. I tried at one time to try to vet all these people. If do I want to be friends with them, or are they like spammers? I don't even really try anymore because it takes so much time. So unless I recognize you right off the bat, hey, that's my,
husband.
my great aunt Susie. I don't have a great aunt Susie, by the way. Then they just sit there. Because there's way too many at this point for me to even like try to go back through them. So I can see now, and then once I see this starts lifting, I can lift this off. How beautiful
Sorry about
is
the
that?
glare.
It's gorgeous. So this one's transferring really nicely. And I usually just will take it like one row at a time. You can peel back little sections if I want to see if something has transferred all the way. I can peel it back and check it. Come back and rub a spot that I'm not sure about.
Susan's getting a little personal.
Uh-oh.
Sean, does your J job know about my nightlife? My night job?
You have a night job.
Whoa. So I've been meaning to tell you about that. Well, I end up with a lot of cash.
Are they talking about your camera skills? So, you guys... Sean has a desk job. He totally works for a bank.
And what are you working on right now?
What am I working on?
Oh, hey, Logan.
So I guess I have a desk job too, huh?
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Guys, this is my son Logan. My boys have had a hard day and night last night. We lost our puppy yesterday. Well, she wasn't a puppy. She was an old lady.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to talk about Layla?
And then we got her on the box because she was dead.
Yeah. And what are we gonna do?
We're gonna bury her.
Yeah.
And get flowers up and get stone and get whole paw print.
Yeah. We have a special stone with her paw print on it.
And she's she's in a box on some wood now.
Yeah. So our pug was 13. And
Yes,
he
I
passed
agree.
away
Working for a bank is
yesterday.
boring.
And,
Okay.
And now after my mom's life, we're gonna bury her.
So I absolutely love this transfer.
Logan. There we go.
It's absolutely stunning.
Watch out, sweetie. Oh. Up close and personal? You know any jokes? No?
Okay,
Let me
so
try to get the glare out of the way.
from here, I can look at this, and this one's not a large transfer, but some of the really large colored ones, you can get a lot of air bubbles. So I will go around kind of with my finger and make sure that I've got good adherence around all my edges. I can look at this one right now and tell that it's not really a problem, but some of the really more intricate transfers, some of the edges cannot push down. I guess this one letter right here had a little edge that was still... So I use my fingers because you can feel any areas that are, you know, a little bit raised or a little bit sticky. Whereas if you try to rub something over the top with those edges up, you can start pulling.
What's the name of this transfer?
This one's called Somewhere in France. So this address for this cafe is Somewhere in France.
And there's more room to put some of that stuff on is right here and over there.
Yep. So then I will take, this is the Dixie Belle finishing pad. These are also available through the Dixie Belle website or through any of their premier retailers. You can use the link that I posted above and go and look for your local Dixie Belle retailer, or you can also order online Dixie Belle paint products.
And
So then I just take this finishing pad and I will go and I will burnish the edges of my transfer. And what this does, let's see if there's a space you can see it. If you come kind of close, you can see there's like a little white halo that's kind of around the transfer when you first put it on. By burnishing it, it makes that disappear a little bit. And then you don't see those edges of the transfer as much. So I will go through this entire thing with my finishing pad and I will just burnish those edges down. This is also another issue where people have a problem with you know, certain clear coats and their transfer lifting after you apply it. If you don't go through and really check those edges and make sure that your adherence is good, then things, moisture can get underneath your transfer and start lifting those adhesives. So that's usually the problem is you just haven't gone through and gotten good adhesion.
So why would you use a cafe design on a desk?
Because it's really pretty, okay? It's really
I like
pretty.
the practicality
I don't
question.
care. I don't care what it says. It just looks pretty. That's all that matters. Maybe this is the office desk from a little French cafe where they keep the books and
This is the office desk that every time I look at it will make me hungry.
So that is absolutely gorgeous. I'm sorry, you guys.
Yes.
It is gorgeous. Oh, let me show you guys something.
My paycheck in there?
Yeah. Oh.
Yep. Nope.
there
Nope.
it is.
Yep. There we
No,
go.
look what I
It's the
actually got
dust.
for this desk. It actually came with the original key. So what I will do with this is I will take this key and put like a little gold tassel on it and to hang down on this. And I think it's just going to be like gorgeous. I haven't tested to see if this actually locks it. Yeah, it does. This actually works. So this one I was lucky on to get the original key. If you don't, you can go to antique shops and they'll usually have boxes of old keys you can dig through. Most skeleton keys will work universally if they're the right size. So, but this one I'm lucky enough to have the actual original skeleton key on. So the inside of this is really cute. Insides of secretary desks are scary. What I will usually do when I get a secretary desk is most of these, you can take this piece out and you just have to look around on it for how it's attached. So I will usually feel around the inside of it and see if I've got any little pin nails. This one doesn't. And so then I can come around the back and I can see this one is stapled into the piece. If I wanted to take this out, I'm going to turn this so you guys can see what I'm talking about. If I wanted to take that out, this is the back of it. These are the staples that are holding that in.
Here, hold on. I like the mark.
My little label.
There we go.
That's how I mark all my pieces, you guys. So I can tell around the back of this, and there's also these little pin nails here. So if I came around the back and I pulled these pin nails and then these staples, I could remove that piece of my secretary desk. So look at the construction of your piece, and most of the time, those little built-ins will come out. And then when you're done, you can come back and just add some pin nails across the back to reattach it again. So this one I don't want to take out. It's in really good condition. I actually just want to freshen up the wood a little bit. And there's a couple credits we're going to use for that.
Oh, good. Socks.
Yeah, this is where my laundry goes to die. Anyone want to guess whose sock this is? At least it's a sock this time.
That's why I said socks.
So I'm going to use Dixie Belle No Pain Gel Stain. And gel stain is great because gel stain is made to go over the top of an existing finish. So penetrating stains are for when you've got a raw wood, they will penetrate into the wood. Gel stains sit more on top of your existing finish. So a piece like this where I've got some fine scratches in it, they're not damage into the wood, they're just, you know, they've lost their color from being scratched. I'm going to just take my No Pain Gel Stain and I can go right over the top of this existing finish without having to sand it or strip it down or anything. Go ahead and open this up. So Dixie Belle No Pain Gel Stain comes in 3 colors: Georgian Cherry, Walnut, and Espresso. I'm thinking this wood has a lot of red tones in it, that Georgian cherry is probably going to be my best match. I'm not trying to change the color of it. I really just want to touch these up. So once I open this, I always stir my gel stain. I'm just going to take my transfer tool because I've got 1,000 of these. And I'm just going to stir it up. And you can see why. It gets little chunks in it. You know, can you see this? Like, I want to stir these into my gel stain. It shouldn't be like that. It should all be a uniform consistency. So make sure you stir your gel stain. There's what? Probably 3 Dixie Belle products that I make sure that I stir every single time, not just shake, but stir. And the 3 products are the patina paints, because they have the metal particles in them that can settle at the bottom. I always stir my patinas. I always stir my gator hide, which helps keep it from getting streaky.
Now, would something like this help if you get a water stain through varnish or anything like that?
Probably not, because the water stain is in the clear coat on your piece. And there's a bunch of, you know, remedies for that, like online, and I can't tell you one that works for sure. It really depends on what clear coat was used on your piece and how
There's just
the
too many
damage was
variables.
done. Yeah, you know, you can put mayonnaise on it or put an iron with a wet cloth. I'm going to use a glove. I rarely use gloves for painting, you guys, but I really hate having wood stained fingernails for a week.
Thank you.
It looks disgusting. So then I will just take an old sock and clear off my little transfer stick I stirred with. And you can just apply this right over the top of the existing finish. You can layer the gel stain, so if I put this on and I think it needs another coat, I can come back after probably 24 hours and I can apply another coat right over the top of this. But this sits over the top of your surface more like a paint than penetrating the wood. So it just kind of freshens up that wood look. Let's see what this is. These are great. I've used these over the top of like leather. If you have a leather top on your desk, you can put gel stain over the top of the leather and it's beautiful. So it's not going to make it, you know, brand new looking, because I have some scratches in this, but just rubbing this little bit of gel stain over the top.
I'm just going to overshadow right now for a second. So Linda's just completely curious about the circle, you know, the water spot, for instance, in the varnish.
Yeah.
And there's a million, if you just go Google crazy, there's a million different methods that you can try. Yet again, like Brandy mentioned, there's too many variables. The mayonnaise, some depending on how deep and how bad it is, mayonnaise works. Baking soda mixed into a paste with water can work. It's a little gritty. It just depends on how far down that is. If it actually got down to the wood, but it doesn't mean you have to sand the top. It's just over time. So
it's usually in the clear coat. It's
I would almost say that, okay, try everything against that. And if you have to, well, then worst case scenario, you had an idea you were going to have to sand it down anyway.
Yeah.
Rather than start at the sanding and work your way backwards.
Yeah, that's a good policy. Sean uses that on just about everything. Like when he's doing car repairs and stuff, he will say start at the easiest solution and work your way to the hardest solution. Versus, you know, the opposite, where you start at, you know, the $2,000 alternator and then find out it was really a, you know, fuse. Just start at your easiest solution and work your way. So you can compare this. This is the, let me take this. This is a little desk thing that came with the piece itself. I don't know if I'm going to use it. Take this out. But you can compare this with the old section here versus our newer one that's got the gel stain on it, and just see that it freshened that look up. I've got a little bit of paint here. I'll just wipe that off because it's not sealed at all. So it just freshens up the wood. It just gives it a newer look, a new finish on it, and then I will go ahead and put clear coat over the top of this. So I will continue to apply this all throughout the interior of my secretary desk. And it's just going to take some of this old wood. I can do it up here on this part. Same with the insides here. I will just take this and rub it all with the gel stain with my hand. And I'm trying to keep this wood detail. So, and then it just freshens it up It doesn't have that dull look anymore like it needs to be painted. They don't always have to be painted. If you want to paint them, I usually will take them out, and you can either brush it or you can spray it. Spraying, of course, is easier if you've got the option. But I like this wood detail. So I will go through and put this gel stain on the entire inside of this secretary desk, and when you see the finished results, I will get this posted. Let's see what's today, Thursday. I usually finish these pieces up the weekend following. So probably by Monday at the latest, I'll have this posted, and you guys will be able to see this freshen up. I do think I'm going to paint these drawer fronts just as a cute little painted accent inside to tie in some of the color on the inside. But other than that, I'm just going to use this gel stain.
So you throw down the gel stain, and then what do you do afterwards?
I'm going to clear coat it.
With?
I'll use gator hide. I'm using gator hide on this entire piece. Once my gator hide shipment arrives, I will use gator hide on this one. So in a second, I'm going to go back and I'm going to check my door side that I just papered to clear coat it. But I want to show you guys something first. So if you guys have been watching, the Dixie Belle Metallics disappeared from their website, and that's because they reformulated their metallics. So I'm going to show you guys, for the first time on a live, I'm going to show you guys the brand new Dixie Belle Metallics, and they are gorgeous.
Drum roll.
Drum roll, please. Are you guys excited for new metallics? So these metallics will be available at your Dixie Belle Premier retailers starting, let's see, what's next week? The 10th, starting on the 17th. So in a week. And then on the 24th, you can start ordering them online at the Dixie Belle website.
What?
So this first one here is called Steel Magnolia. And it's kind of a champagne color, like a bronzy champagne metallic. So these are called Moonshine Metallics, you guys, and that's the Steel Magnolia. This one here is called Wedding Bell. And it's sort of a, oh gosh, what would you call this color? It almost has a yellow look to it, but when you put it on, it's like a warm ivory color. There are 5 colors.
You say more?
5. More, you say? These are single coat, single step metallics, you guys. So the old Dixie Belle Metallics had a base coat and then a top coat you put over it, and those are gone. So these are single step metallics now. This one's called Gold Digger, and it's a really rich antique gold. This would be beautiful with this transfer here. You know, if I was to put this on the drawers or something.
Cynthia said, oh my God, I'm going to be poor.
Welcome to my life, Cynthia. Welcome to my life. This one is called Silver Bullet, and it's a true, you know, really light silvery color. Silver Bullet. And then you guys check this out. It's so pretty. This one's called Rosé, like the champagne. Rosé, and it's a rose gold. When Dixie Belle introduced these to us, you can mix a little bit of the rosé and the Gold Digger, and it creates a beautiful, rich rose gold. If you want to take this pink down a notch, you can mix these metallics. You could also tint them with the regular Dixie Belle paints. So, for example, if you wanted to take this silver and make it like a, you know, dark steel color, you could add a little bit of caviar to this and tint these metallics too. So I'm super excited. I just got these. They're not even opened yet. This is a brand new product, you guys. Brand new product.
Can you just stop talking? I want to just be in shock and awe.
Yeah, here, I'm going to turn them around so you guys can see all the colors next to each other.
What helps? Name. Thank you.
I know. They're the Moonshine Metallics. You won't find them on the website just yet, but they are coming on the 17th to Dixie Belle Premier retailers, and then on the 24th they'll be available everywhere. I'm not done yet. I have more new products, you guys. I have all the cool stuff. That's what you come to me for, right? This is what I've been waiting for, and I knew it was coming. So this is a hemp seed oil, you guys. Hemp seed oil is beautiful. Old Wood loves hemp oil. So this is great because raw wood will absorb hemp oil. It's odor free, and it just is going to freshen up raw wood. So I'm going to use this drawer as an example. If you could get inside this drawer and see, I don't want to take it out too far. You can see this wood looks, it's just a little bit dry. It's beautiful wood. It's got beautiful grain in it, but it's just a little bit dry. So I'm just going to take an old sock and a little bit of hemp oil. So the Dixie Belle hemp oil is a cold refined hemp oil. Some hemp oils, if they're food grade, meaning they're edible, you can use them for, you know, cooking.
Any idea, really quick, just to go back, sorry to interrupt you, it's what I do. If you mix the metallics, do they still come off or pop metallic?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You don't want to over mix it. If you get dominant in your paint color, like if I'm mixing the silver and I get dominant in the caviar, then I'm going to start losing that metallic. But if you're just tinting, you really need very little paint to tint. So I'm just really adding that little tint of
And they're
color to it.
water-based.
Yes, these are water-based. These are all water-based. Obviously, the hemp seed oil is oil-based. There's a couple other new products coming out, but I'm going to leave those for some other people to introduce to you guys, because this is what I've got on hand tonight. So this is a great example. I just did one side of this so you guys can see side by side what the hemp oil does to that wood. You see how the flame came out and the graining versus this side over here that doesn't have it?
I feel like this is an infomercial.
I know, it's beautiful because I get excited about this stuff. And these products are genuinely a lifesaver. And these are things, so, you know, Dixie Belle genuinely listens to what do we need in the line, what are we missing? And so that's how we got these new additions here. The hemp seed oil, you can use, it's food safe, and you don't have to store it in a refrigerator. Like some hemp oils will turn rancid if you don't store it in a refrigerator. Dixie Belle has refined this so that you don't have to store it in the refrigerator.
So if I buy all of this, what do I get? What are there extra? I mean, the infomercial style.
If you buy all
right?
of this, you get.
Are you going to throw in
you
something?
get 5 metallics and a hemp seed oil. Huh? Yeah? Because you bought them.
Wow.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah. I'd pan to the audience members, but they're all kids.
I actually
so.
think Dixie Belle's throwing in a free color card with their orders right now, so you get a free color card. They're the nice color cards.
Do I get like an air fryer or something?
Yeah, that's better than the paint, I think. Maybe you get a free paint when you order your air fryer. So I am super excited about these products here right now. So you guys are going to see us using a lot of the metallics coming up, and then the hemp seed oil is a lifesaver.
So as far as hemp seed oil, you can put it in a dresser drawer, but will it transfer to anything that you put, you know, clothing or anything?
Hemp seed oil is a dry oil, so it will, once this dries, it dries to a dry oil. You can wipe it back out again, but I've never had to. It doesn't have that greasy feeling. You know, it's a dry oil. That's why it's so perfect for this purpose. They make a lot of other oils that leave an oily residue, but the wood is going to absorb this. And then if you need to, you can wipe it back down again. But I mean, even now, it doesn't have that greasy feeling.
I don't want to put my ugly mitts in there. What size are these containers?
So these are the 16-ounce containers, and I think that's all these come in, is the 16-ounce right now. That may change later. They're brand new products, though, so I think they're only available. The hemp seed oil is an 8-ounce. I've asked for these in some larger sizes. Hemp oil, though, I mean, oh, here, I know what, I'll show you. Hemp oil can also freshen up. This probably isn't real leather. This is just something that came inside my desk. But you can freshen up leather with it. If you have leather sofas, you can polish your leather sofas with it.
All right, now we're getting into the infomercial. You're going to try to like hit my
for
clothing up and...
No, I'm not kidding. In our last house, I would literally polish my kitchen cabinets once a year. When we left that house, those cabinets were, what, like 15 years old? And they looked brand new. People always ask, why don't you paint your cabinets? And I'm like, because they literally are brand new. But I'm going to use this on every single stinking drawer.
I just like, they're called moonshine metallics.
Yeah,
That's
it goes with the
cool.
Dixie Belle theme. Dixie Belle's all southern. And then, you know, the names Gold Digger and Rosé, Wedding Bells. Oh, the Steel Magnolia, how southern is that? And Silver Bullet, like they're very, you know, just southern, old, you know, country charm. So I'm going to leave you guys tonight. Oh, I told you we were going to clear coat our dresser drawer. So this has had some time to dry, just while we've been on camera. And already I can tell you this is nice and adhered. My corners are adhered. They're not going to lift. Oh, that one is a little bit right there. So I will just add a little bit of clear coat under this corner and then reattach it is all I'm going to do. But other than that, I don't have any bubbles in there. It's
Gail's wondering where the 1-800 number is. She's ready to order.
yeah.
But if you wait, if you order in the next minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. No, people have said these come off like an infomercial. I'm not an infomercial.
Cool.
I'm telling you guys, I genuinely use these products. And I work with Dixie Belle because it's optional. I don't have to work with Dixie Belle, but I like the products. It's genuinely what I use on every furniture piece that I produce. So I'm not here to like sell these to you. They have me here because I use them and I know them and I have experience with them. I mean, it's as simple as that. So I just put my clear coat back over the top, and it did not reactivate that coat underneath. I would usually wait until it was a little more dry to put that on, but this will dry and I have beautiful adhesion on my door.
So the hemp seed oil, does it have a fragrance?
No,
a smell to
this one does not. So, I don't know, should I tell you guys? I don't have any to show you though. That's why I was kind of avoiding it. There is a scented product coming in the same release here. It's going to be called Big Mama's Butter. And it is a...
And when is everything available again?
These will be available, you'll start seeing them this next week. And then they'll be available at the premier Dixie Belle retailers on the 17th. And then on the website on the 24th. Whole new release. There's a few more products. The Butter is a furniture conditioner that's scented. Yeah? It is literally like a butter. I don't have it on hand yet. Mine has not arrived because I'm in California and everything takes me longer to get. But that's going to be, and that comes in 2 scented and 1 unscented option. So, I mean, this is an awesome release, you guys. Awesome. And we got permission today to start showing you guys. So, super excited for this stuff. But there's more in this release too. And that butter is one of them if you want a scented product. Hemp seed oil is an unscented product, and it's a liquid, whereas the butter is it's a thicker, it's the consistency of butter, literally. So that's all I've got for you guys. I'm gonna finish up this desk. I'm gonna finish polishing the inside, finish polishing my drawers, and I will get this one up with some photos for you guys, and then get these videos posted to my YouTube channel. My name's Brandy. I'm with Brush by Brandy. If you guys want to order any Dixie Belle products, there's a link up at the top to find a retailer. You can also order online. And otherwise, when I come back next Thursday, I'm here live every Thursday evening, same time. We will start a new project next week. So thank you guys so much. Have a good weekend.